one of the things that I'd say that it's in terms of creating a good relationship between, supervisor and student, is that it doesn't actually necessarily require you to be, the same kind of person or have the same research interests. In my experience, I have one supervisor in particular who actually comes from quite different research background to me, but he has been incredibly open to realize, to try and understand what my values are and to try and support me in that direction. So for instance, a very concrete example actually on the paper that we're working at the moment, we have quite a different, there's difference in the way that we'll draw conclusions, where he's sort of, more comfortably more positivist than I am. And we've had, tense moments before where I'm like, no, I don't want to say things so positively as this. And just the other day, sort of in his commenting, he pointed out, actually, in the way that I'd written it, his critique was, your writing is starting to sound a little bit positive here. You might want to revise that. And so that, that willingness to recognize the direction that I want to go in and helping me to, become and develop as the researcher that I really want to be. So, that's been a really something that I've really valued as well. Another aspect of that has also been recognizing when, that supervisor recognizing when actually they might not be able to, they might not be the right person to support that particular time. And, it might be better to create space for someone else to come in. So actually, quite often, especially in the early stages and the sort of more of the arts-based research parts of my PhD, we brought in, or my supervising team allowed me to bring in 2 other arts-based professionals to kind of work with me in the supervision team, because they really recognized that actually in the way that I wanted to do my research, that actually I needed more than they were actually able to provide as the supervision team. From my side, it's really been important for me to be open to being challenged as well. I think because also, I come from a family of activists as well. There is that fire of passion inside of me that can sometimes result in a resistance to criticism. And sometimes I really have to take myself back as well and try to work out, not necessarily, I just need to accept this, freely accept this criticism, but it's to try and work out, well, what is it in this, what this person's saying to me, is there something of value that I can take from this, rather than just outright rejecting everything as well. But because, being a researcher working within an academic institution, and, often this sort of, neoliberal path that a lot of these institutions will often follow, it is, there's many researchers, I think, that find themselves in similar positions to me, being kind of quite critical of directions that those institutions will follow. So that also can kind of bring up resistance sometimes in those like working relationships with supervisors. So and maybe a concrete example is that actually my supervisors, they've felt more comfortable through my research process. They've preferred me to spend as much time here in the Netherlands sort of writing and sort of, reading, whereas actually I've really wanted to be in the field a lot of the time. And that's always been a point of tension.